Hi everybody, I'm here today and we're going to be doing when I say we, I mean Spirit and I, we're going to be bringing through some messages for you on a fortnightly basis, and it's going to be a general reading. From this one is going to be from the 1st of September to the 15th of September, and then I'll come back and we'll finish off the rest of the month in a couple of weeks, okay? So, and that's September 2018, I should mention. So one of the things that's come up to today and yesterday was you know, about this new moon thing, and how we're like we're at the end of a retrograde that started way back in June 2018, but on the 27th, around about that time. So they're just saying, you know, to take into that account all of that to where you are now. Okay, so some of you have still not finished clearing up some things, and others of you have cleared up a lot of stuff, but there's just some teeny bits there to go. So, and that's all good. The thing is, like Spirit is saying, is to acknowledge yourself for all the processing that you have done. And some of it, for a lot of us, has been quite crappy. Others, it hasn't been as, you know, crappy as, and some of it can be like, for a lot of us, it's just like, you know, our energy's just feeling a little bit blah, and some things people have been annoying, and which we've absorbed some of that annoyingness, and it's depleted our energy. So the idea is to, because they're just flipping from one thing to another. The idea is for that, if you're feeling like that, this is the learning, is not to buy into that stuff. Okay, other people's stuff, and start valuing ourselves, and, you know, acknowledging, okay, there's something going on with that person, but it's not for us to take on, it's not for us to try and fix, we maybe they're just for an ear, okay, and that's it. Because most of us are empathic, you know, more so than any other like sort of senses that we have, and the rest start to come in. They do have play a role in the crux of things, but for a lot of us, we don't understand. You don't understand that actually it's our greatest sense is how we feel, and you know, for me, that's my strongest sense, and my clairvoyant side is like the next one down, and then but now Spirit work with me with all of my senses. So, you know, when I hear things or smell things, and Spirit will bring through messages through to you, whether you're doing this work professionally or not, or you just live it every day. They'll bring through messages to us through either one of those senses. So the idea is to be open to whatever we're getting, and not dismiss it. You know, if we're hearing a little voice in your head and it sounds like your grandmother, well, then it is your grandmother. You know, so don't throw it out the window. This is your nana coming through, or your granny, or whoever, however you know, she comes to you, and whoever you know her to be. And also there's this other thing about, so when we're working with people in our jobs, so people have different bits of baggage and things like that. So, and sometimes, you know, we pick up on that and we may mistake it for hours, but it's not ours a lot of the time. And if it is not ours, and sometimes if you get it and it's not ours, it could be something that's triggering out something for you to work on. So, but that's a whole different story. And I mean, I work with that, so that takes a little bit of unraveling and a little bit of skill and technique in doing that, so you don't drive yourself crazy. So and that's what I'm here for, and to help you through that. So if you're wanting to explore that and to figure it out, I do have run development classes. There are 6-week ones that will be coming up soon in the summer months, and also like weekly ones that will follow on from that. So yeah, so, and that's how I can help you out with that. Or you can come and see me for a general reading or a healing, depending on what is going on for you. I can help you with that, okay? And bring a little bit more understanding. So, but this month, going back to the beginning of where I started, it's kind of been this last couple of months has been a whole big mishmash of things that are coming up, so that have come up for you. So now a lot of it is coming to the end. And with the stuff that you haven't processed and you're still wondering how to get around it, that too is coming to an end. But this is the year, this year, to get rid of a lot of stuff, especially if you're one of those ones that are wanting to move from third into fourth, or fourth into fifth dimensional sort of energy. We're going to need to have to go there and like, you know, cut through the bullshit and really get rid of all this emotional stuff that, you know, some of it is unbeknowingly we've carried it, we've attached to it, you know, and it's attached to us. It just depends on what the circumstances are. So it's really time to get moving with that. So for some of us, it might mean that our energy is really low, and that could be because we're not we're not sleeping well, and which sometimes with this energy all over the place can help, you know, help with that sleep deprivation, because our mind's always like ticking over and then we're bringing through messages, either or downloading information or uploading information for us to move through this next phase in our journey. So it's like I say, there's a whole lot of stuff that's involved in it, but what they're saying, okay, generally is to, you know, bring it back to love based, and look at everything as an adventure, because, you know, life really is an adventure. And I know too many people who have passed over and not having lived their adventure, and when I speak with them in spirit, it's like, yeah, you know what, I should have done this or I could have done that, but I didn't. And I don't feel it, and most of them, it's not so much a regret, but if they look back to where they are now and to where they were, they probably, you know, they're saying, I probably would have done things differently. And then I see other people on the other, you know, spectrum that they've crossed over, and, you know, they're so glad that they had, you know, encompassed life and lived life to the fullest. And even though with some of that might have killed them, but hey, that's different. They, you know, they went out happy. So, but in those who didn't, you know, it's like, yeah, you know, they realise that they have lived a full life. And that's, yeah, and that's where they're wanting you to go to that. So anyway, I'm just going, because I'm just being drawn now to draw a card, in like the 1st of September, like that's coming up, like what's today? Tomorrow, isn't it? The 1st of September. Is that tomorrow? No, 2 days. 2 days, okay. Sorry, I'm just all over the place now. But yak in my head. Okay, the 6 of Hearts. And, you know, because when we're talking about this, going through all this vibrational stuff, they're like, you know, some of this are like half and half about this love thing. How does that work? The love energy. And that's what I'm getting with the 6 of Hearts. It's like, and some of us are like borderline halfway thinking about it. And it's like, you know what, just embrace it. So where am I going with that? Where are they going with that? And I've got a Pleaidians, because the Pleaidians and all those other Sirians and the Arcturians, and even some of the reptilians, you know, not all of them are, you know, like some people would say negative, but we all have a place to play in this universe. You know, even the angels and the archangels, and they all talk about love, and, you know, love being the greatest power of all. So it's going there and allowing your heart to be touched, so you can touch somebody else's heart, you know, with your words, with a smile, with whatever it is, with, you know, it may be that you give somebody something that can lift their energy, but they're just encouraging you all to search for that love place in your heart. And going back, and a lot of us have, sorry, I'm skipping from one thing to another. It's because I'm trying to cover, or they're helping me trying to cover all different sort of aspects for different people. So yeah, going back to that 6 of Hearts, it's like, yeah, okay, just go with that flow. And like I said, a lot of yous are there, or a lot of us are there, but just keep going, and we're over the halfway mark. Okay. And they're just talking about, you know, they're bringing my attention to those of you who have some sort of hiccup within the family, or raru that's in the family, which is, you know, or negativity, and another word they just say it in Māori is raru. There's something going on that's not good. It's, you know, to fix it, you know, to find a way to fix it. It's more or less to find a way for you to get through whatever it is that you're harbouring, or that somebody else is harbouring towards you. It's like, you know, going back to that love aspect, it's like, figure it out. Sometimes it might be you that might be the one that has to go and, like, you know, make that first approach. If it's you, do it. And if you're being drawn to do it, and okay, you might get a little bit of slack back, but it's like, you know, if it is you that needs to do that, then follow your heart and do it. And like I say, if something comes back at you and that's not good, but let's just keep going, because at least you know then that you've done something to make a difference. And you know what? And the biggest difference that you've made for yourself is in you. Okay, so really it all comes back to us, because we are the ones that lead the way. If we're cutting through our own bullshit and you know, and finding out what is wrong and what is right and what is better for us and what is not so good for us, and we're eliminating all that other stuff, and we're living in our own space and our own mind and our own mentalness and our own like craziness, you know, we're a better person for it, you know. And if you're gay or if you're not, or if you're hypersensitive, we're all got different, you know, if we're black or you're white, whatever, you know, just that's your authenticity. You just go with it. And, you know, it's about finding out who we are, not finding out about what everybody else is, because that's none of our business. And when we go into that space of like, yeah, love, perspective, everything's going to be sweet. So that is the biggest message that Spirit have got for us all today, for this next month coming up, especially this next couple of months. And what they're telling me, if you go for that love perspective, things are going to be like moving along a lot quicker than what they are or have been in the last couple of months, okay? And for some of you, it will just go kabam, and I wouldn't be surprised if some of them will be going like, wow, that's, you know, it will happen almost instantly, within a day or two, within a week or two. But when we change our vibration, that's the key, is changing our own vibration with our thought processes and our perspective. And, you know, some people, you know, will hold on to that. So it's just about us keeping going, being in our own space and in our own time. So, okay, now I've got the unicorns that are just, okay, jumping at me. Oh, God, that's a few. But we'll just go with that. There's only 3. Okay, I'll go for the top one first. Oh, simplicity. Oh, my God. You know, that's so, keep it simple, stupid. Is that the right one? Yeah. I don't want to say stupid, because, I mean, there's always a bit of stupidity in all of us, but, and most of us have been there, we've done some silly things, but, you know, you just get over it, you move on, you build a bridge, you figure it out along the way, and you acknowledge it, you know, and you go there, and you think, well, what is my part, what is not my part, and then you're like, okay, sort it. It's like, okay, like I say, acknowledge it, and then you can let it go. If you don't explore it, it's going to stay stuck in here, which means it's going to stay stuck in here or here somewhere, create a physical disharmony in your body, and then it's going to be like, oh my God, what have I done? So, but you can unravel like that and like, look, change your perspective, sort it out, come and see someone like myself or another healer that you know of, you know, to help you with that, figure it out and help you shift it. So the next card from that, okay, oh my God, let go of stress, you know, who'd have thought, let go of stress. So, you know, and that's what this whole couple of months with this major like retrograde thing, because we're in Mars now, you know, it's been like, you know, some of us would have been feeling, and, you know, I have been too, feeling a little bit, not stuck, but things are moving a lot slower than what I would like, you know. So, but there's a reason for that, because I had to process stuff just like you and many others. And some of us, well, we will have felt like it, you will have felt like it, you've been stuck, but you've been put there for a reason, and that's to fix it and sort it out once and for all, okay? Or that part of that one, because there's like, some of us have got like thirds and quarters and, you know, halves, but I feel like most people, you know, that are listening to this and that get it, you're probably at either a third or a quarter, depending on how that's divided up for you or how you see it to be divided up. So letting go of stress, you know, and one of those things about, you know, stress, it's like detaching from that emotional connection to it. That's why it's stressful, because we get connected emotionally, and, you know, half the time it's not even our stuff. What the hell? So, you know, just go there and find out what it is and find a way to let go of it. Yeah, they're just going to quiet, because that's what it's like. When it's quiet, there's no stress, because you've disconnected from it. So, but yeah, so emotionally, they're just going to making the energy a lot gentler now. Emotionally disconnect from whatever it is that's stressing you. Basically, simple as that. In your head. We only make it hard or difficult because we can tell us these stories that it is hard. And we tell us these stories that we're living in the past, but we're not living in the past. We're looking forward to the future. And it's like, you know, depression and that sort of stuff. And when we're holding all this disharmony or aches and pains in our body, it's stuff from the past. So, you know, that's why they talk about, you know, just brushing it off, leaving the past in the past. And we create an anxiety usually from that stress or depression, disharmony, whatever it is, in the future, that it's going to keep on happening. But when we clear that slate, you know, and look at things in a different light and be more positive about things and switch that, you know, that flip that switch or turn that dial around, you know, and start looking, bringing in that positive and letting go of the past, that stress starts to go away. You know, and they're also talking, I'm just wiping my eye there, because I could feel a teardrop coming down. And, you know, and it's not okay to cry about things, you know, and that's part of, you know, how we rinse. A good friend of mine says to me, he goes, you know what, Lesley, all your rinsing, you know, tears are just rinsing out your emotions and you know, those connections. And you're going to cry with some of these things when when you disconnect from them emotionally, because it's an emotional attachment and we're so used to having it, but you don't need that. So, and it's not to say that it's going to, like, you've pushed it away and you've just you've just released it. The memory will still be there, but the idea is that you'll know when you've moved through it better, or at a stage where it's not going to affect you as much, as when it does get to that point, when if it's triggered up by something, it's like, oh yeah, I see, I get that, it's not mine, you know, and whatever that situation is you will not react or act in the way that you used to, whether it's a fright or whether it's like, oh, you know, not a nice response. It's like, you know, it's just sending love and light to it. And I know for some of you, you'll probably think, oh, how do you do that? You just do it. And you just fake it till you make it, you know. And it's kind of like, you know, send love, love, love. And you might not feel it straight away, but when we keep saying love, 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 you know, and I'm just, because you don't serve me any purpose for my highest good, you know, you're saying those sorts of things and those sorts of phrases, and you're setting it in a love, heartfelt energy. That's when you know when that situation, experience, or whatever happens is triggered up again and comes with you, how you react to it. So if you're sending out love and light to it, that's what you will get. Love and light in all areas of your life. So yeah, just go for it. Okay, and then going back, so I've got family culture now. And so, you know, going back to that family, when I was talking about earlier about, you know, those of us who have got all this family stuff going on, crap, not buying into it. Once again, it's emotionally disconnecting from it, because when we are not emotionally connected to it, and it's not like I said, say once again, it's not, you're not pushing family away because you dislike them. It's just disconnecting from it. So you can see from a better place up here and in here how to best work with the situation, help family members, or heal the moment, and you know, and not come in with a negative or like a high strung sort of energy and get, you know, create more negative energy, you know. So it's the idea is that you'll be in a calmer place to deal with it and help others deal with whatever's going on. Yeah, now they got all quiet again. Okay, next phase. Okay, so they just draw me to draw a card off. By the way, these cards are all, apart from the deck cards, plain cards, Doyne's Virtues cards. So they'll draw just love her cards. They're very general, but very specific at the same time. And so when I'm channeling it with spirit, there's a bigger message to it. Okay, so they've just got me, these are the daily ones that I've just drawn off, and it's trustworthy guidance. Okay, so when you are doing all this connecting and things, disconnecting and or connecting, positive connecting, of course, because when we disconnect the negative stuff, you've got to bring in the positive too. So it's like coming from a really nice space. So what I usually do is I call in the angels, so like Archangel Michael, he helps me disconnect with stuff and excuse me, and creatively express myself as well with that little cough there. So, and that's what, okay, there's a lot of us have been with this weather. Well, first of all, I'll go back to this. Somebody else has just jumped in as usual. Okay, so trustworthy guidance. So call in your angels and your guides, okay, and then ground yourself. You know, ground yourself, call them in and connect with the highest being, spirit energy, God energy, Christ energy, but mainly the Archangel energy. Now it's starting to cough again. Now, Archangel Michael's come through and he's talking about, this is really about him coming through. This at this point is really about speaking up and speaking your self-truth. And that's also speaking to yourself truthfully, as well as creatively expressing yourself to others, so that you can, because it's all part of the healing. You know, we don't always have to say the F word or the shit word, but if it comes out, it's like, but just go with it. And then it's like, because that's for you. And you can pull back and retract it. And, you know, because sometimes, you know, that's the only way some people are going to get it, is if you say that word or say words like that. And it might shock you, it might shock others, but, you know, if that's the way it needs to happen, that's the way it needs to happen. And, you know, it's always done another night, because you know that's done another night. So I'm just going to cough again, sorry. Okay. Excuse me. I'm just going to light this sage because there's a lot of clearing energy. Oh my God. That's coming around. And around this area. And now I want to cry. So there are a lot of spirit who are really wanting to like come through. But I can't get through to all of them, get everybody through. So, and the expression is clear your stuff. And I'm just doing the cross signal here. And I call in Jesus. You know, those of you are so-called atheist or not really into Jesus, well, you know, that's your stuff, but I'd call him in. Because, you know what, he's helped me heaps over the years. As well, oh, that feels so much better after clearing that. Because we all have, there's a lot of spirit energy out there. Loved ones, mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters. Which brings me back to this family culture, you know, to heal it. Heal the wounds that each has inflicted on each other. And they're just saying that you've actually had a part in it too. So it's about healing that as well. Oh my God, I didn't bring a tissue, did I? Goodness me. Anyway, I'll just wipe that out with my finger. So they've become very emotional about that. That feels better. In fact, I'm going to be going up the Taupiti Maina soon, and I'm seeing some of my family up there that I don't know. And that's going to be an awesome experience. And I have two beautiful younger energies here to help me through that process. Looks like we're helping a whole lot of others through that process as well, and acknowledging them. So what Spirit is saying, you know, and my reason for bringing that up is because, you know, Spirit on the other side are wanting to be acknowledged too, and with respect. And they are there to help us if we help ourselves, you know, with blessings of love, healing and enlightenment. Because a lot of them, like, they've, you know, if they knew then what they know now, they would be doing things differently. So now that they're up there, and some of you think, oh, that's a lot of bullshit, but it's not. You know, and how do I know that? Because I communicate with them a lot. And you might think, oh God, you know, and but you know, my mother would not be like that, but you know what, they are. So that's your stuff. That's our stuff, because we're still here in our human body and our physical body, and that's why we're needing to move through. And that's what all this about, this saging is about, this retrograde stuff is about with the moon energies, is about sorting all that out, okay? So, and which is why I've lit this candle, because it's all about the base chakra, and and I've had the red candle, and it's about, you know, that grounding and that foundation and fixing families and the stability within families. Now, there's a lot of us out there that have not had a very good grounding and stability within the family, and there's some of us that it's just started to happen or bubble up around us, and that's okay. We can work through that. Okay, and I'm just belched now, and there's something that it's about that processing. So, whole processing side of things anyway. So, find a way to get over it. If it's you saying, apologising, saying sorry, because it's something that you might have done, if it's you having empathy for somebody, well, that's all good and well as well. But it's just finding a way to make peace with yourself in the most highest of ways, like with love, basically. Okay. I feel like I've got something else to do too. Okay, they're drawing me to the crystals. For those of you, use your crystals for your healing and your balancing. Some are just telling me that some of you have okay, you've got them there, but you're not really harnessing the energy of it, or you're not really utilising them to to work with you through the processing that you're doing. So sometimes, sometimes I have about 6 crystals tucked in my bra, and the only thing I've got to remember is when I go and have a shower and they all fall out and it's like ding 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 ding. So just wear them. They might be in my pocket, my front pocket or my back pocket, depending on what's going on. They could be in my handbag. There's some in my car, just depending on what's going on. With me, they're carted everywhere. I've even worn some in my shoe because I've had a bung foot and something's gone wrong and I'm wanting to shift something in my ankle. So there's, of course it's one that's not going to cause me any more pain or any more disruption. But, other than our ears, we can, use them in other ways or carry them around with us in other ways. So they just draw me to that. So, and that's where the fairy energy is coming in through there, and which is connected to our unicorn here. So, and the unicorns, they're just coming and saying, let the magic flow in your life. Some people don't believe in unicorns, but I do, and I've seen one in my backyard at one point, and I would not have said, they don't normally say things like that back then, but nowadays it's like, they are real, they are real for me. And you know what, and the only reason why we don't see them is because they're in a different dimension. And our minds are in a different dimension. Our way of thinking is in a different dimension. So, yeah, go forth. Oh, I'm just hearing may the force be with you. May the universe be with you. May God's energy and Christ's love be with you. And that's a bit of a wrap from me. So, yeah, if you're wanting to get in contact with me to find out more about this, you can call me on 021 554 867. Gosh, just about forgot my own number. Or you can email me on Lesley_Ormsby. Oh, no, sorry. In the Grace of Spirit, actually, at gmail.com. So scratch the Lesley one. That's my other one. So my business one is in the Grace of Spirit at gmail.com. Or you can go to my Facebook page, which is either under Lesley Ormsby Psychic Medium or in the Grace of Spirit. So you'll be able to find me either way through there. Anyway, God bless you all.